You ever had a conversation where you and the other person are speaking the same language, but somehow you're not? That is what happens between most non-technical CEO and their engineering teams. The CEO is frustrated, wondering why everything takes so long. The developers, on the other hand, are exhausted, wondering why the CEO thinks magic is real. And because of this communication gap, companies burn 10 times the money and still end up with a terrible product. But what if I told you that as a non-technical CEO, you can avoid all this chaos? And no, I am not saying you should start coding. Here is how you bridge this gap and stop wasting time and your hard-earned money. Step 1. Get a complete design first. A design is not HTML. It is not code. It is Figma, Photoshop, and those sketch files. It is a bunch of images showing you what your product will look like before a single line of code is written. Without a complete design, your developers are basically shooting in the dark, and guess what? That is how you end up paying for a project 3 times over. The developer should not choose the tech stack alone. I know what I just said sounds crazy, but hear me out. Most technology can do the same thing. PHP, Python, Java, Ruby. The key difference is that some languages have a small talent pool, meaning hiring will be a nightmare for you. So before you let your developers pick a tech stack, ask them how easy is it to hire people for this, because at some point you actually need more devs. No one is saying you need to be a cloud engineer, but you should at least know whether your product is running on AWS, Google Cloud, or on-premise, and why that choice was made. This isn't a tech decision because it affects your cost, your security, and your scalability. You do not let your developers work on things without tracking what is getting done. Break down the project into features, assign points to each task based on the estimated time, and track how much work is getting done each week. New developers join the team. First thing they say, this code is trash. We need to rewrite it though. This happens every single time. Here is the reality. Most rewrites are just developers avoiding the pain of understanding old code. If your platform is stable and all you need are just tweaks, don't rewrite. Optimize and improve them, but don't start from scratch unless you want to burn through your budget. Being a CEO doesn't mean you need to code, but if you understand these principles, you'll be able to work with developers without frustration. And guess what? Your product will ship faster, cost less, and actually work.